In Philippine foreign policy, there are three countries which are vital to the Philippines: China, Japan, and the United States. Because they're geographically proximate to the Philippines. But also vitally important are the Middle East and the European Union, which is one of them, and Australia, which are the European Union being one of the biggest givers of grants together with Australia to the Philippines. So those are six that I have mentioned. For example, in China now is a leader in energy technology. Despite the fact that they're popularly known to be one of the biggest expellers of greenhouse gases, they are the biggest investors in alternative energy. Australia has been a reliable development partner of the Philippines, particularly also in security matters, although I must say that our track record in dealing with them in security matters has not been very good. The SOGFA with Australia has been pending in the Senate for a long, long time. There were only two things that we need to go to this year. I think that's APEC in Japan and the ASEAN Summit in Vietnam at the end of the year. I think the question is a tricky one, given that look into the mirror first before you speak, right? I think that's it. I think we should continue our commitment to international human rights in the global arena, while at the same time also our image needs, sadly, need to prepare. I think there are three things, and I think it's a tall order already. First is to introduce literacy in preschool circumstances in the public sector. Like, right now, public care provided preschoolers is only through the daycare workers, and this is localized. We have to nationalize some form of nationalization of supervision of the daycare workers. We have to find a way to try to introduce literacy training in the barangays through the daycare workers. Because the first 4 years, probably you're the expert. Children are really impressionable, and they're like a sponge in the first 4 years. And I think if you don't develop them right the first 4 years, you go wrong. Now I have been educated properly that I think I'm saying now literacy training, not necessarily English training 2 years. So I doff my hat to Dr. Isagani Cruz, and I stand corrected. There must be some form of literacy training, although I think the ideal, as President Ramos told you before, was China. 2 years old, computer skills already, and English, but I don't think it's possible in the Philippines. I think you have to introduce some sort of mother tongue training to mother tongue learning endeavors. But at the preschool level in the public sector, for private schools, it's not much of a problem there, but I think that for private schools, the question is the affordability of preschool for lower income families, because preschool education is, I think, even more expensive than elementary education. Secondly, you have to introduce that basic education reform roadmap by Father Nebres. I think steps of it are already being introduced in the decks, and you have to continue that because you have to have high school graduates aligned with international standards. I think a specific item in my platform was about 1.5 billion pesos a year for teacher retraining. Fourthly, in terms of teachers, of course, who doesn't want to give them better terms and conditions of employment, to include salaries? But teachers are the first step. Soldiers are the first step sometimes. You give an increase in one, everybody follows. So it will all depend on how much you have to spend. But what I want to introduce probably, if it is possible, if the civil service will agree, it's the degree consciousness for promotions. Right now, you require certain positions to be filled by master's degree holders and examination successor or holders. But what does what happens is that the master's degree becomes pro forma. Unless probably you get an MBA or another technical master's degree. Master's in arts. The challenge is, will you contribute something new to academic literature? The mere fact that you have suggested topics already for your dissertation is already a sign that it does not fill its function, no? Because probably 50% of the challenge is to identify that idea you have in your mind. So you shouldn't even suggest a topic, actually, before you make your dissertation, unless you have a comprehensive exam. Now for tertiary education, student loan program is the thing I would like to introduce. Probably national government can make a one-time capital infusion to a trust to be managed by the SSS, not using SSS money. Yeah, about 5 billion pesos, more or less. And then you can loan out tuition fees plus stipends to the students who should be given ab initio an SSS number. So when it comes out in the scheme of things that the students earning money can pay it back. I think there would be no choice. I think there would be no choice. It's difficult, but there would be no choice. Right? Like now, during our time, Miguel, they didn't teach calculus in high school. Now they do. I mean, there's a lot more to learn. And I do not think the student can absorb all that information in 6 years and 4 years. Coupled with the fact that now there is even no 20 minutes only allotted voluntary for physical education. I mean, studying is not everything to make a well-rounded young individual. You need extracurricular activities. I thought of an option. Those that do not finish the, how many years is that? 12-year program, they cannot go to university. Those that finish the 10-year program, you can go to technical. That's a trade-off. Or you finish the 10 years, you want to go to the university, you have to take 2 years of junior, whatever you. That's probably a trade-off. There's one thing that I want to evolve. I haven't done it yet because even the United States hasn't evolved it yet. That's universal participative healthcare, where you have to bring all the elements in. Public healthcare system, the field health with all its gaps, private healthcare providers, private policy providers, private insurers into a national mandatory scheme, where everybody must be protected by some form of healthcare. And it goes in healthcare for a cheap amount. The rich must subsidize the poor. There's no question about it. So maybe to comply, you want to get your own health plan, you pay a little tariff to help the poor guy. That's the only way. To me, that's a Waterloo if you try to do it by law. It's a Waterloo because you'll get stuck at whether the government is the right agency to do so or not. Well, problem continues to fester. Population growth is a problem. Not solely because there are 2 million mouths to feed every year, jobs to fill every year. That's one of the aspects. But for me, based on my experience, the most important aspect is lack of safe, habitable areas in the Philippines.